was a kid, we had a monster in our basement. My father said if I'd done wrong, it'd creep out at night and come for me. I tried to do no wrong, but the monster came all the same.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Wolfenstein Uber difficulty video walkthrough. This is of course the Old Blood, which I don't know if I've been saying the Old Blood, but I think it's clear by the title of the video and by what the video is that that's exactly what this is. And I made a mistake here, folks. If you, at the end of the last mission, pick up the turret off the boat that you came on and bring it into this area, you will bring the gun. Oh, actually, I don't think you can you? Yeah, you might not be able to. You might have to try though, folks. For some reason my brain remembers doing that. I might be wrong though. However, this particular enemy, if you destroy his light, you're then able to go close and do an execution on him. I prefer to hit him and then execute if you can, to get some good damage, but it's entirely up to you. That is a decent way of fighting him, but you'll notice I still got really hurt because this is Uber and you die fast on this game, so look at my life. I got hurt just then. The good news is that first fight is the only one that's tricky to control. The fight's coming up now. I have a really good spot for you that's going to guarantee A, that you don't get flanked, and B, that you don't get grenaded. That is the two major threats in the sequence coming up. Everything else is down to your gun skill and your own ability to move around the map effectively, which I'm assuming you can do pretty well, because if I can do it, you can do it too. And that's what gaming is all about, guys. A lot of people shower me with praise and compliments and all that kind of stuff, and it's really nice, but I'm not doing anything in these videos that you can't do. And obviously there's some people that are like, I physically can't do this guy. I have no arms, no legs, no tongue, like there's no way I can even pick up the pad. But even so, you know, I think it's really easy to say you can't do something instead of trying. And I think a lot of people defeat themselves before they even do try, and I think that's the biggest killer of everything. Like, if you're not motivated to try something, if you're going in there already thinking you're going to fail or it's going to be too hard, then you've already lost before you even gave it a shot. And it's true with literally every single walk of life. Except maybe suicide, because in suicide, you're losing but winning at the same time, because it's like desired losing, isn't it? But this is my spot anyhow, folks. Push out to this corner, get a couple of hits, push back into the corner, go around, get a couple of hits, and you're just going to be alternating here. Because what happens is, when you get a few shots from the position, the enemy AI is going to be looking at it, and then you can get them from the side. However, they can move and what have you. All the time, be conscious of your left, because there is a path that leads to you from the left. However, in both the times I've done this room on Uber, I've never been flanked, because the AI is too focused on messing around in this room, and we're going to exploit that. There we go, got a grenade belt. Always good to see. I think that is when one grenade kills 3 people. And I think that happened because we shot him and he dropped it and it killed 3 people. I could be wrong though, folks. There's a great place to get the multi-kill grenade if you haven't already, and it's later on in the game. So if you're going for the achievement and you're not caring about just having more grenades, it's a great place to go. Right now, the first wave is pretty much done, and there's not going to be any more guys until we push forward. However, this is Uber difficulty, and pushing forward is dangerous, so you want to be as tentative as you can. As soon as you see somebody move or you hear somebody there, get back where you were quickly as possible, because as soon as that spawn happens, they're all coming for you. They know where you are and they know what they want to do, which is kill you, because that's what they're programmed to do. So get back in position, take advantage of them dropping down, move this fucking gun because it was getting in the way. I don't know why I ended up dropping it and it got stuck in the roof, but there you go. And because if you're wondering, I tried to reload and I picked it up. One of those Super Smash Brothers moments. But we thinned a couple out. Pick up the ammo, pick up the armor. And we're literally going to be ascending the keep, the Wolfenstein keep, which is the level that we're on. And when we're going to be doing this, I recommend shotguns. The Schlockhammer, or whatever it's called, Shockhammer, I must be dreaming. You know, this gun that I have on now is a killer. It is a killer of men and robots alike. This thing can hit at stupid ranges and knock people's limbs off. Like, look at that! Look at that shit, dude! If this game had a multiplayer, I would hate this gun. This is the gun that would be the most used and terrifying because it's just bullshit, but bullshit in the grandest way because we're against the computer and the computer doesn't have any feelings, so we're going to piss down its face and it can't say a damn thing. There was your checkpoint, which means there's another spawn. There's the enemies across the room. I wouldn't shoot at that range, personally, but it's up to you. There is a turret, but getting on it's going to strip your life and your armor away, which we want to avoid, so instead we're going to use this as a choke point and let them come to us. We're going to camp up a storm. But I don't think camping really exists in single player, seeing as how it's pretty much called surviving. Like, if you're not posting up sometimes in a first-person shooter on its hardest difficulty, the difficulty's probably not hard enough. Or is not hard, is probably a better way of putting it. So now that there's a couple of the shotgun guys with the tanks, I chuck a few grenades. Ooh, very nice. So we'll finish off anything that didn't die with the shotguns. See what I mean? It is a wall of death. That is what it is. This is Black Label circa 2000 or whatever it was. Whenever New American Gospel came out. Like, look, just people's limbs fall off when this gun is used. It's so good. Only criticism of that gun is when you dual wield, it takes forever to reload. The good news is there's reload cancelling in this game. If you reload with bullets in your clip, you can press the trigger to immediately start shooting and cancel the animation. I wish Call of Duty had this, but of course they go between having it and not having it, and on that game you either have to sprint or double tap Y to cancel the animation, and on some games it's really quick, on other games it's really slow, and then some games just don't have it. Hopefully Black Ops 3 will have it. Oh, by the way, when the alarm stops, it means that you've killed everybody, so now you can safely go through the room and pick stuff up. That being said, I think I'm about to get attacked, because I thought I was safe and somebody shoots me. So, bear with me here, guys, because I remember being proven wrong by my own knowledge. No, it might be later on, actually. Suffice to say, in most games, when the music stops, you're safe because you've done it. In this game, there is a part of it where the music stops and a dude was shooting me. So just be ever so aware, you know, get that perception up. And then max out all your shit and then carry on. In the true Wolfenstein way, but machine games have already really impressed me. They're already up there with one of my favourite first-person shooter developers. They're on the pantheon with Starbreeze and with Monolith, because I think Monolith make the best first-person shooters, in my opinion. And I'm not saying, like, the best multiplayer. I'm not saying, you know, the most well-realised or original. I'm just saying, when I aim and shoot and shit dies, it feels good. And if you're not aware of the games that they've made, Monolith, a quick Google search should remedy that, but there's I think, was it No One Lives Forever? Or that female spy-fronted shooter that they did back in the day. I think they even did Kingpin, which is going back a few years, which was really cool for its time. And then, of course, they made Fear, which is one of my all-time favourite first-person shooters, because it's so John Woo-esque, it's amazing. They also made the Condemned series as well, which is another series that I think gets a lot of shit, but I think it did great things, and I would love a third game. But, like, the one thing I think Machine need to do as far as a dev, and coming from Starbreeze, they already have an understanding of this at least, is they have to have some kind of replayability or some kind of option to get the people who bought their game to stay. And in their defense, there's a lot to do in this single player. There's a lot of collectibles, there's a lot of difficulties, there's a lot of fun little Easter eggs to find. You know, the game is just fun anyway, so it promotes a mentality of wanting to play it more. But they need to have some kind of co-op option. I'm not asking for adversarial multiplayer because I don't think they need that. I don't think you have to do that anymore. The reason I say this is because I think we've got that covered with games that are coming out every year. Like, if you want to do a multiplayer, you've got to go creative. It's got to be interesting. You've got to do something that stretches the bounds of what we thought the game could do, or completely flips everything on its head. And it's tough to do that. It's tough to be that innovator, that pioneer, because almost everything now is contrived, and we've seen it before. So it's not easy, guys, but if they're going to do multiplayer, that's what it needs to be, I think, along the lines of some kind of competitive style that's not the competitive that we're used to, a la, the Left 4 Dead kind of situation, or maybe even score attack, where everybody's playing at the same time and they're moving towards beating each other's score, or some kind of collective goal. This is a vast oversimplification of what they could do, but I think that's the only way you can do competitive multiplayer now, unless you've got a hook, you've got something really, really great. But I would like to see a focus on a cooperative anything, because I think Starbreeze did a really great thing with Syndicate, and nobody played that game, which is just dreadful. And if you'd never encountered it, essentially, they did what Resistance 2 did, which I think is one of the best online cooperative modes I've ever played. They gave you a shit ton of missions to play with, like 8 people, and you go in there, there's progression for levels, there's perks, there's weapon upgrades, there's all that kind of, progressional carrot on the stick stuff that we love. And then it was you and a bunch of people scoring points for killing dudes against the AI, and the scenarios got gradually more difficult, and all of them were kind of different, and they were mission-based, objective-based, and you felt like you were a member of a team, and you could help each other. And it was a really, really cool mode that not a lot of people played. And once again, Resistance 2 did it even better, because you could have like 30 people in that. It was insane. And it was just everybody teaming up together to try and take down these crazy HP scaled enemies, and you felt collective but also lone wolf at the same time. You felt like you could go out there and make a difference, but if you weren't a very strong player, you could also support and feel like you were helping. And I think they made something great that nobody copied, and they should have, because co-op is just dull as fuck now. Like, it does nothing new, it does nothing different, it doesn't strive. It's just the general, oh, here's co-op campaign, oh, here's, wave-based multiplayer, and tower defense this, tower defense that, the stuff that we've been seeing dozens of. And every so often you do get like a stupid multiplayer that really surprises you. A la, Bioshock had. Bioshock 2, as much as I didn't like the multiplayer, it was at least dumb enough to be something of its own. And then you have things like Dead Space 2. Remember that multiplayer? The stupidest, most unbalanced, weirdest thing ever, but there was so much fun to be had because it was stupid. In a good way. Also in a terrible way, but still, there was good parts. But I just think when you're this good at making a focused first-person shooter experience, it'd be really great to give somebody the options to use this fantastic engine that you've built, these great mechanics that you've crafted, to do more than just these set-up situations that never change. Like, do you see that? That is an alarm going off because an enemy's just spawned with a rifle over there. Nothing you can do about this, guys. It's completely planned. And there's also a guy on a turret who's lighting me up, even though I'm about as in cover as you can be, outside of, kissing the opposite edge. But, I don't know. Syndicate multiplayer I loved. However, I put a ton of hours into that game when nobody had it, and then Aiden got it, and that was at the point when I'd played a little bit too much, so I wasn't all that up to playing it as I would have been if he'd have got it earlier. And then Resistance 2, that is a multiplayer, the co-op on that I could play forever, because I just think it's really, really fun. Like, there's even difficulties, and you can do them as just on your... I've tried doing them on my own, which is incredibly tough, but you can do it. There's so much cool stuff in that game. Nobody copies it, though. Nobody takes it and runs with it and makes it their own. Instead, we get the same old bullshit. But, Black Ops 3, guys. I think they've mentioned there's going to be a cooperative campaign. And I don't know if you're new to Call of Duty or you're just not informed, but this is a series that almost refuses to do cooperative campaign, yet when it began, all of them almost had it. Like, you could, I think in Call of Duty 1 you could do co-op campaign. That's the very first one. I could be wrong, but I remember something like that. I tell you what you can. In World at War you can do cooperative campaign. And I think that's it. Like, all the other ones just didn't have it. Which is really strange, because the direct competitor at that time was Medal of Honor, back when it was in, the World War II era. Or World War I, I'm not too sure which one that one was. I think it was World War II. But suffice to say, Medal of Honor was king back in those days, and Call of Duty came along and dethroned it. But that game had cooperative campaign. Oh, by the way, folks, here, as long as you get here, regardless of the alarm, normally the alarm doesn't go off, but they saw that body that I dropped down to the first floor. If I'd not killed him, we would have been fine. Ooh, this is tough.
Hey.
Right, folks, there's going to be a transition here to when we're being tortured. You have to press X to get out of the chair. And what's going to happen is, as soon as this starts, you need to get your ass to a weapon, because if you don't have one, and people who do are coming. And they're coming fast. Gloriously. All over the carpet. But as soon as you kill a dog, you're in control now. Now you need to move. So my strategy is to get up these stairs and then hug the corner of this staircase. For some reason, when you hug this corner that I'm about to move into, the people to my right on the stairs can't fully get up the stairs, and everybody else will come from in front. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and use this doorway. This doorway is going to be the thing that funnels them towards us, and we can have our own personal battle of Thermopylae. So, you're about to get rushed by a few standard goons. The only ones to worry about are the heavies, and the heavies will rarely come into this room unless you provoke them or unless you get unlucky. That being said, you do have the Kampf pistol, or whatever it's called, the crazy grenade pistol. All the time be looking down there and be looking across there. If you're going to get flanked, that's where it's going to come from. In this video, I don't get flanked. In your gameplay, it might be different, guys. I've done this room a few different ways, and this is by far the most effective way I found. But if I go through that doorway, there's going to be a ton of dudes. Because for some reason, the AI is trying to come at me from the left, but they can't because there's no door. So they're all hugging the other side of that opening, and they're standing there like idiots. So if you get some tasteful grenade shots, you can do some big damage, but I don't want to waste ammo because I don't have a lot of it, and when you run out, you have to go and find more, and you run the risk of running into a really bad situation, which is waiting for us on the other side of that door. The good news is, the AI is so keen on swapping positions and getting all fancy that they don't rush. They don't rush in. If they did, you'd be dead, because you don't have enough life when you first get here. That was a mistake, but I went with it. Shouldn't have done that. Then I put the rifle on. I love this gun. This is my favourite gun in the game. That was a terrible shot, but, you know, they can't all be perfect. So we're going to pepper the guys across the way to stop them from laying down fire. Every so often somebody's going to strafe past the doorway. If we have the shotgun, which I don't know if we do, it's really good at this kind of range. We're just going to exploit this doorway. And at this moment in time, I was playing with my headset on, and I was listening for people behind me. If you're playing through your TV, you might not be able to hear them so well, so you might not be able to adjust. But what I can tell you is the Nazis make a lot of sound when they're running up the stairs, so it's easy to hear it and react. And, ooh, that was nice. But right now we're being super fortunate, but I'm always paranoid, so keep on checking your corners, and just know, on the left there's going to be a shotgun guy and a couple of other dudes that are just waiting for us to pop out, and then as soon as you do, he's going to rush you down. Very slowly, but, you know, he's coming anyway. And all you want to do now is kill as many of the small guys as you can before this. So now he's... Oh, that was real bad. So that's the first mistake of a pretty decent run. But we recovered okay. And now there's that guy coming. So I pick up the life. And I'm going to corner, creep out. And I'm going to try and hit this guy's backpack. If he faces us, it's not going to work. If he doesn't face us, it's going to work. And this will one-shot this enemy. But there's two, of course. So I try and shoot his backpack. I get nothing. I don't know if you can do it from the front. I don't know. So instead we're going to try for headshots. And he's dead. So now that he's dead, the only people that are left are standard guys. That being said, standard guys can kill you too. So be very careful here. Pick up some ammo. Alarm stopped. We should be safe. I was kind of worried about recording this room because on my first playthrough I died about 5 times here because I was experimenting on different places to stand, different places to go, and the best route to get to them. And I'm happy to inform you that this was one shot. We got here when I was recording and it just worked perfectly the first time. That doesn't mean, however, it's going to do that for you guys. This is a tough room. This is the toughest chapter in the game, I think, by far. So if you're having issue, it's completely understandable. Just keep on pushing forward, persevering, and you'll get one of those good runs where everything goes your way and nobody is a cheesy bastard. But thank you for watching. You take care now.